Spirituality has been hardwired in your brain. In other words, every single one of us is born with a natural spiritual capacity. It's very interesting, actually. In fact, with the new technology we have found brain networks and brain regions regarding spirituality. To name a few, some of these regions are frontotemporal region, parietal lobe, and they're very important in our spiritual experience. I don't go through these technical stuff. An important point: what is spirituality? Spirituality is indeed a personal path, a unique and self-discovery journey. It's very individual. To find meaning in your life, no one can tell you that meaning. But on the other side, we have organized religions. They claim that they bring for you spirituality. And what is an organized religion? It means following someone else's path, someone else's spiritual experience, not your own. They began advertising their own spiritual experience, selling it to some lost people. And that charlatanism led to this mess we experience this time in our world. And there are some people, they follow an organized religion, whatever it is. So don't follow anyone in the spiritual realm. Your relationship with that greatness is personal, is private and unique. When you join a sect or religion, you make this personal, unique relationship awful. You make it dirty. Interestingly, I have met many people who follow a sect or an organized religion. I saw a decline in their spiritual life. And I've realized that from the mental health viewpoint, these so-called religious guys, they're not okay. They live with fear, with anxiety. They're not okay. Regarding this unique relationship we have, let's say sacred consciousness or whatever it is, I don't want to name it, because when we name it, we make a mess. Because religions named it, like Allah, like God, Jesus, whatever, and they made a mess. The time you name it, that's over. I want to tell you a story, a metaphoric story from Rumi. Actually, he emphasizes in this metaphoric story on the uniqueness and personal relationship we have with, that spiritual realm. It's very personal. Even don't share it. Maybe you can find on internet, this story in detail, but just, I tell you the message, the core message, what Rumi wants to convey. Actually, the title of the story is Moses and the Shepherd. There's a shepherd who's talking to his God, in a very personal way. He's talking like, oh, where are you? I want to caress you. I want to hug you. I want to comb your hair. I want to, he was just, explaining, and he was talking in private with that higher consciousness or pure consciousness, whatever he imagined. And Moses, actually, he brings Moses as an example, a prophet, but I think he's criticizing all prophets. Everyone who wants to tell you that this discipline is the truth, this frame is the truth, this path is the truth, this field is the truth. Actually, he's criticizing Muhammad, Moses, Jesus, and the old one, the new version, whoever they are. It's very interesting. Moses is just, a name. You can put it on everyone who wants to tell you that truth is on my side. Moses overhears this conversation, and he comes close and he says, what the hell are you talking about? Are you talking to God with these, phrases, words, ideas? What the hell are you talking about? And he starts preaching the shepherd, that God is beyond these nonsense bullshit that we hear from, popes, clergymen, mullahs. And then the shepherd becomes very, very upset. And he starts condemning himself, and he starts apologizing Moses that, oh, yeah, you're right. I was wrong. And, to make a long story short, at the end, God starts talking to Moses, and he says, why did you separate him from us? Why did you start preaching about me with your own words? He found God, he found me as God, these are just metaphoric Rumi uses, to convey his message. God starts criticizing Moses. You should not talk to people like this about me. It's a very private thing. He found me in this frame. And it's very beautiful that God, in this story, talks to Moses. I think Rumi ends this long story with this beautiful statement that you have come here to connect me to people, not separate them from me by preaching, by your frames, by your disciplines. What the hell are you talking about? You have come to connect me to others, not separate. Shut up. Actually, he criticizes all of these religious leaders. He ridicules them. But people do not like to think. Thinking needs energy, and people these days, don't have enough energy because they waste their energy in social media. I'm not talking that these things are bad, but we should know how to spend our energy. Energy is very precious. By the way, I have also met many people without any spiritual life. People who got addicted to goals, achieving them, and there's nothing more than goals, in their life. I'm alone, individual person in the center of this world. They were not also in a good situation. I saw them depressed with suicidal thoughts. Assigning goal and direction in life is okay, but we need another form of perception. We need a spiritual awareness. As I told, spirituality is hardwired in your brain. And if you're against it, it's like swimming against the river. So we should know about our brain design more. That's why I talk about brain design, our nature. What I mean by spiritual awareness comes when you don't ask, what do I want and how can I get it? Instead, we ask, what is life showing me now? Spirituality lets us know that we are not alone in our path. In the journey of life, we are part of one field of life, very interconnected. We are not separate from each other, although the brain makes this illusion that you're, individual, like many, many illusions our brain makes. And spiritual awareness means that we are not individual beings, and we are very, very connected. Everything is connected. Spirituality is innate. Find it for yourself. Don't ask anyone for a path, because spirituality is a pathless land. It's very personal. Even don't share it with others. And when you discover your spiritual life for yourself, you would be healthier, more resilient, and ethical. You would be good. And then love, compassion, and beauty open the doors to you. They will blossom in you. And then you will have an awakened brain.